Hello and welcome to Community Business Matters for our first episode of 2021. I'm your host, Kevin Bargender, and with me we have Northward Peddle and Paddle owner, Patrick Gatterman. And hi, Patrick, how are you doing today?
Good, Kevin. I'm doing very well.
It's great to have you. So tell us a little bit about your business.
Sure. So Northward Peddle and Paddle was formed in 2015, really as a side hustle. That's the best way to describe it. Side hustle, side gig. And it was a rental and delivery business. So really people would call us and we don't want to transport a large kayak, so we'd bring them to them. So that's really how we started.
So what are some of the challenges you've faced, recently or over the past, 5-6 years with this company, or this business, I should say?
Yeah, so definitely we're a seasonal business, meaning if it's cold, no one wants to kayak. If there's no snow, no one wants a snowshoe. So that's really what we've kind of found are our large challenges is our friend and foe, Mother Nature. There's times where like this last season we partnered with Wood County Parks Department and we partnered with them at Powers Bluff. So everyone knows it's a great tubing hill in the area. We were open a total of 6 days. Of those 6 days, several were below zero and pretty frigid. So when you're up against the seasonality part of it, it's very difficult. So seasons come and go no matter what year it is. And of course, last year with COVID, it added a lot more strings and challenges, but nothing that we couldn't overcome.
Yeah, and Powers Bluff, a really popular tourist destination, and as a kid, I would go there quite a bit. So it's definitely a really great place, to get people that want to go outdoors. I know you even do the fat tire bike.
Yeah, and we haven't 100% eliminated our fat tire bike, but we're kind of on the borderline of what people are realizing that if you want a fat tire bike, you're going to probably go buy one. So we're trying to get more of the rental items that people don't have. So we're going to change our fat tire bike system into more of a alternative. I like the idea of kick bikes. That's what we're going to be rolling out in 2021. And I've never looked, no one's kind of heard of a kick bike. I'd recommend Googling it. And it's kind of a cool combination scooter bike. It's used primarily for like mushing of dogs, and with the trail around Wazeecha or for the green circle up in Point, it's a great way of kind of seeing that it's atypical. You're not sitting on a bike; it's a little different. But and that's what Powers Bluff, the same thing. They have single track trails. They do cater to not just winter sports, but summer seasonal, all seasons I'd say up there.
Yeah, and like during a peak season, how many employees do you typically have?
So for Northward, and I'd say when I say peak season, it's typically summer. We are a full 4-season business. We operate winter, summer, but we try to target right around 14 total for our 2 locations. And of those, those are seasonal. We like to employ, like I said, employ the youth. And we've had challenges this year, of course, because typically if I could reach out to the local high school guidance counselors, or there's the job fairs. There's alternatives like the chamber here puts on really good job fairs actually coming up soon. But those are good opportunities. A lot of those are just not available right now. High schools are, it's not a priority to get kids jobs as it is just to get them educated right now, get people in the door. But we try to target 14 people. That's our current always 14 staff, or 4 staff we have. So let's have those. And then another 10 we try to, I try to grow them for a business. So we have a couple that work Wazeecha. They'll also work Iverson to kind of back and forth. But then we want to teach them. They learn how to talk to people. They learn just a point of sale system. It's that customer service. I think it's art that's kind of lost right now.
Yeah, so it's kind of you benefit from their services, being an employee, and I think they definitely gain a lot of experience by working for you. So I think it's kind of a win-win, would you say?
Yeah, I hope so. Because most of the kids, they want to come back. It's you're kind of a lifeguard. You get to sit out in the sun and help people in kayaks, or get people, educate people. But really, it's that face-to-face conversation that a lot of kids are used to doing this, and myself included. I'm just as guilty of texting people and versus having a face-to-face conversation. That's really that art that's coming back. But when they get done, they're always happy. We don't operate when conditions are poor, so it's not like you're this mailman that has to get the mail delivered. You're a fun in the sun kind of position. Kids love it. But it's not, and I shouldn't say just kids. We try to employ anyone who has an interest in the outdoors. We have people that went to college and they're in the health and wellness, and right now health and wellness, there's not a lot of jobs available, so they start with us and kind of cut their teeth on what we do. We work with a lot of groups on providing wellness programs, so that's kind of an opportunity that they have.
So kind of looking to the future, what do you kind of see as like, do you see kind of an expansion into this, or and also like speaking about like employability of, you said it's a little bit tough right now, but do you anticipate like the future being better for that as well?
Yeah, and as far as our goals, it's funny, my license plate also says Go North, and our website is Go Northward. That's really our goal, is we want to continue to, it is Go Northward or grow. And we have a potential upcoming partner in Wapaka area, in the Iowa Scandinavia area, on the East Branch of Little Wolf. So that might be we're hoping that people will see in 2021. But our goal is to continue to expand northward. It's pretty much from northern Adams County up to Lincoln County and perhaps beyond. It's the Wisconsin River Corridor. I think that's a great opportunity for central Wisconsin, is to highlight that corridor. So that's our goal, really, is to expand services in Lincoln, Marathon, Portage, Wood, and Adams counties. I mean, as far as employment, I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that it gets better, but we don't know. I mean, right now the world is different than it used to be, and even face-to-face interviews are discouraged. They want a lot of more Zoom interviews, whereas I want to sit down with the person and what are their interests? Why do you want to work for us? So I hope it gets better. I know if the college, Stevens Point at least, if they open up and have more availability for kids to work on campus, it'll get better for us.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm hoping things get back to normal steadily this summer and into next year as well. So unless we have any major setbacks,
right.
I think the future does look brighter as far as employability. But as far as moving north, I think that would be a great idea, just because the seasons are longer up there. I think that's kind of a really big advantage of moving up north.
It really is, and our niche. I've kind of said that we partner with Wood County and the city of Stevens Point. That's our niche. We like to partner with government, and not that I enjoy red tape. However, I can tell you it's a cool niche, because government, they're not in that business. So they're trying to find private entities like us, private businesses that could help them in their parks department. They don't want to offer rentals. They don't want to get into that. You see, even the city of Wisconsin Rapids, they're doing a rec plan right now. It's trying to highlight what people want to see in their park system, and that'll start driving a lot more private businesses to work with government, in my opinion.
Awesome. And if someone would want to get in contact with you, what are some of the ways to do that?
And I definitely prefer everyone contacting us if they can by phone. If you want our Facebook page, that phone, it doesn't ring to a third party, it rings to me. So I'm the person who answers it. I appreciate that. That's also why my cell phone is sitting over there, because it does ring a lot. But they can reach out to us on Messenger. A lot of people actually will message us on Facebook, because they're on Facebook, see our ads. It's easy. But as far as if someone wants to go into kayak or book anything, we prefer online, and that's just because it's streamlined. They book online, they pay online, they sign your waivers online. We get an email confirmation. We know who's showing up. We can select the right kayak for them, because we have a lot of different styles. We want to make sure people are happy with what they are going out in. But within that, definitely that's a better way of booking versus just contacting us.
Yeah, and I think you kind of talked about earlier before we started about safety. You have some life vests and everything. What do you kind of prioritize as far as safety for your customers?
Yeah, I mean, for us, safety is number one. We're in that business where people are on the water. Typically, they're inexperienced. It may be the first time. Yeah, so we have a mandatory life jacket requirement that we provide. So they're U.S. Coast Guard certified. They have our logo on the back, which identifies who they are. But also our staff, when someone is getting in the water, they check them. So we hand them to them. They put them on. We tighten them up and make sure it's appropriately fitted, because we have them from infants all the way up to full-size adults. So we have every varied size. But the same of as far as that's great for if someone were to capsize. That's the purpose of a life jacket. We have different kayaks, like I was saying, that fit different people. This is of course a sit-in. So you sit very low in the water. That's what people think of traditional kayaks, and they are. They've been out for a long time. But you see now, a lot more people now are in sit-on kayaks. So you'd sit on top of it, of course. You're not as low in the water, a little higher, so a little more tippy, but your legs aren't hidden. And it's a different way of people feel more comfortable on those than they do in the sit-ins. But we also offer a lot of, floating phone cases and floating dry bags, so people can have a good experience when they're out. We do have floating coolers, for select beverages.
So other than kayaks, you have the fat tire bikes. What else was there that you also provide?
Yes, we still, one of our biggest thing definitely is still the stand-up paddleboards. Yep. Coming out this year, we'll have motorized stand-up paddleboards at Lake Wazeecha. Yeah, they're pretty neat. It's like the old RC cars. But that's kind of our summer is definitely kayaks, canoes, stand-up paddleboards, and then we're going to get into kick bikes. Our winter though is snowshoes and ice skates. So, and we're always looking for what are the next cool rental item. We're always have our finger on the pulse, I would say.
So would you say like the stand-up paddleboard kind of the future or the trend right now versus just regular kayaks?
I would. It's funny. I grew up with stand-up paddleboards. They called them paddleboards. So then it changed to SUPs. And now it's the same thing, but it's it's cooler. And that's a lot of people want to do. They remember vacation as youth with their parents in Hawaii, and they were on a stand-up paddleboard. And now you see it coming to Wisconsin. There's Sup the Rapids. She's a great friend of mine. There's a lot of opportunities to get on because people want that. Stand-up paddleboards are definitely they're probably a more popular item for first timers. Kayaks, being on Wazeecha, of course it's a very busy lake, but what's good is we have a lot of respect from the boaters. We're at the end we're on. No boats can get down, so it's very safe. So if you're a first timer for kayaking, or I even get paddleboarding, you don't have a boat within 100 yards of you, so you're safe. You don't have to worry about a big wake. It's a really kind of unique area we have on the lake.
And so, do you as far as rivers, lakes, anything, any body of water is pretty much open?
It is, yeah, because we still have our delivery service. So a town of Rome, that's a very common. That's all lakes, but our point location, that is the Plover River. So it's a little different. At Lake Wazeecha, you start and end at the same spot. So you park, get out, get all your stuff, go on the lake for an hour, 2 hours, half a day, come back where your vehicle is. You leave. Versus our point location or other location we're looking at right now, it's more on the river system where you start. You end nowhere close to where you started, but then we shuttle you back. We have a shuttle, and that was one of the challenges of people sitting in shuttles, but we have a shuttle that will bring people back and forth or drop people off on river systems so they can have a different option to them than a lake.
Yeah, and obviously with the river, I'm sure it moves a lot faster and everything. And how long is a person typically out on the river or the lake for, a typical session?
Sure. So Lake Wazeecha, our average, and it's more popular, is 2 hours. And that kind of allows them to get, so if people know Lake Wazeecha, there's the White Sands, which is all, there's a mini golf and a ice cream shop down there. So they're always able to kind of get down to that point, get out, have an ice cream, or just get on the beach and get back. It's about an hour and a half. So that kind of is at 2 hours is our most popular time for a lake. For Iverson or for Plover River, if they're doing the beginner segment, it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours as well. And that's where you can just sit back and relax. The current does take you. However, we do have a more advanced session, which is from Jordan Park down. That's 3 hours. And coming in 2021, we'll also offer tubes there. And that could be up to 4 to 5 hours. So we like to first ask, as part of the booking questions, how long do you want to be on the water? And are you prepared? Sunscreen, hats. We like to make sure people have the right gear, protection-wise, not just life jackets, so that it's comfortable.
Yeah. So what was the longest you've ever seen someone, want to rent, the kayaks or whatever, for a day? What was the longest you've had someone rent?
So we have a lot of weeks. People will do I'm staying at a cabin in Rome or somewhere, and I want to go out every day. Or I don't know what the weather's going to be, so I want to have it available for you every day. So we do have quite a few that are reserved for the whole week. And then when we drop it off, we walk them through the life jackets and the paddles, how to paddle, and when we pick it back up, they went out every day. They went out in the morning, afternoon, but it allows them to avoid boat traffic. So it's kind of a good option. But we have a lot of people that will rent for an entire week. And that's our delivery system.
And you're pretty active in the community as well. That's actually how I met you, was with the Demitz Park opening under our former mayor. And so that was kind of eye-opening for me. I got to look at all the kayaks and all of your equipment, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. I think this would be really awesome to have you, on set sometime. And then we just kind of, time happened, and then all of a sudden I was like, hey, I want to reach back out to you and get you on and let's talk about this. So talk about some of your community involvement.
Oh, sure. So that was kind of my past life, as I was big into, you should be part of the community. If you live there, my opinion, you should be part of it. But I am on the Chamber of Commerce board here, recently elected, so that's a good portion of my day. Actually, I was reached out to by the mayor today to be part of the Park and Rec Committee. So I feel like you should give back to it. The community is not just who supports me, I want to support it. But the chamber, they do a lot of things that help small businesses. So I was happy to be elected to that one. And then I am the chair of their economic development. They have a task force subcommittee. So that's kind of the two, that are current. But prior to living in Wisconsin Rapids, which I officially moved here, I was living somewhere else. I moved here Christmas Eve of 2020. So it's that new that I've officially decided to make Wisconsin Rapids my home. But before that, I was president of the Home Builder Association up here. I know a lot of the small businesses because I feel that's where your best friends are going to be. But yeah, right now it's mainly the Chamber of Commerce as well as now the Park and Rec Committee.
Awesome. And then, so what would you say is your favorite part about working with the public?
And it is the public, as far as they look at us as a fun business, versus I have friends that own businesses and they're jealous because, well, people get to have fun with you. And that's where it is. It's public. They appreciate it. They look to us for guidance. I have people who have kayaked and they've rented from us, several times. And now they come back to us like, hey, we want to buy one. That's great. Well, what are your recommendations? They're not looking necessarily, but they look to us for guidance. I can tell you the city, they're looking at doing more boat launches, or there are more kayak launches at boat launches. There's a couple of special interest groups that are trying to really promote that. And the city reached out and said, hey, what would you recommend as far as a good kayak launch? So the public really, I like the fact that they look at us as a professional in the industry and for guidance for like purchases or like some kayak launches. It's neat to have.
Yeah, and as far as like being a small business owner in this industry, do you have to, or do you voluntarily kind of attend some of the seminars or some business meetings where kind of all the like-minded people get together and kind of discuss like some new and interesting ideas?
Yeah. There's a kind of a sports commission. They meet. It's the Rafters, the River Kings. I sit on that call. Right now, everything's a Zoom meeting. It seems like I'm zoomed out. But yeah, right now, all the city meetings are on Facebook. I make a point listening to all them, adding my suggestion. I feel that's an important part. But yeah, I sit in on as many as I can because like I said, first what's going on. You hear the information coming from the source, but it allows you an option to kind of give your input. So yeah, it's good being part of those meetings.
Awesome. Is there anything else you would like to cover today that we haven't gotten to?
No, Kevin, you're a great host. I can tell you that. I was pretty excited when you reached out as well because, my goal is as much as I want to get people in a kayak or a paddleboard or out snowshoeing, I want to get people outdoors. That's what it is. Wisconsin Rapids, I was telling, Mayor Blazer this today, reason I decided to make this home because I was debating living in Plover. We have a business in Point. And I looked at Wisconsin Rapids of having a much more robust and available, recreation system. The trail system, the river itself, the way it's kind of nestled into the community, I think this has a lot more potential for the area. But that is my ultimate, goal for Northward is, hey, get people out and get people active. That's what we should do.
Yeah, and I think, we're getting really close to, the summer becoming like nice and warm and, technically June 20th for summer, but, definitely it gets warmer before then. And, everyone's getting out of school at the end of May or early June. So, I think it's pretty getting pretty close to that peak time again.
It is.
And I'm sure you're pretty excited for that as well.
We are. We're shooting at our opening. You'll see it come out. Our opening day is middle of May. and it's right around the corner. I mean, that's close, so we're excited.
Awesome. And did you want to like say your number on air too? Do you want to give your number for
absolutely.
people to call?
Yeah, people can always visit us on our website. And that, once again, is gonorthward.com. And my contact is 608-350-6441. And like I said, that rings to me. So I make sure people are getting the answers that they want as timely as possible.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us for our first episode 2021. It's been great to get back in the studio and get some really good interviews with our local businesses. It's been really awesome, and I'm happy that everyone that joined us today. For Patrick in Northward, I'm Kevin, your host. Thank you for watching.